This is Bonnie Janae checking back onto my YouTube channel. This is my second video. However, before I just hop right into my video, I'd like to give a huge shout out to everybody who took the time out to go watch my video and or subscribe. You guys truly surpassed my own expectations of my own first video, so for that I am forever grateful. So please continue to bear with me as I'm still learning how to work YouTube and its gadgets and widgets and all these other things, but I'm just learning slowly but surely. And please continue to watch and stay tuned. So back into this video, I decided to choose a topic that I feel like is not only near and dear to my particular situation, but is widely relatable to everybody in my generation who has had kids or is having kids. And for those who may not know what co-parenting is, it's simply a parenting relationship in which two people assume responsibility for a child or children. And I say that to say that I feel like our generation of parents are having or have had kids in what our parents' generations like to call out of wedlock, single, or what our generation likes to call situationships. And I say that to say that everybody's situation is different, and I'm not here to say that I know it all or I know what works best for you. I only know what works best for my situation. So I'm only here to suggest 6 ways that I feel like could make co-parenting more manageable. I definitely think that co-parenting is manageable. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say it's hard because I don't know who you're co-parenting with. I only know who I'm co-parenting with. So I definitely think that it's manageable and you can make it easier going. So my suggestions for making co-parenting more manageable, before I give them to you, I'm just going to let you know that I feel like it's like giving you Tylenol or giving you ibuprofen. I'm giving it to you for what you want to use it for, and you know, if it does work, it does. If it does not, it does not. But my ultimate goal is to help or give advice in some way. But all my suggestions are going to have side effects, just like Tylenol or ibuprofen. So I may give you a suggestion that's worked in my favor, but it may not work for you, but they're simply suggestions. So my first suggestion would be to, 1, make sure you even want to co-parent, because if you're making the decision to not be with your child's other parent, then you're making a long-term decision based off of temporary emotions right now. So I'm not going to talk about my situation because I need more than a video for my situation, but I'm going to reference my situation and say that when I found out I was pregnant, prior to me finding out, I had already broke up with my child's father. So I had already made that decision, so I stuck with that decision, but it did have long-term effects for sure. My second decision would be to, if you're going to co-parent, I would say my second suggestion to you would be to take your feelings out of everything. Unless those feelings are for your child, take your feelings out of everything, period, with a T, like they're saying on Instagram now. So take your feelings out of it, because the constant variable in this equation, the one thing that's not going to change in you all's relationship is that child that has to coexist amongst both of you guys. So try not to make your child feel you guys co-parenting, and make it as stable as possible for your kid or your kids. My third suggestion would be to definitely discuss what you can and cannot tolerate, because at some point in your co-parenting relationship, you or either the person you're co-parenting with is going to start dating someone else or cohabitating with someone else, and you do want to have an open line of communication with that person so that when their lives change, that you're the first person to know. So I would definitely suggest that, and that's just a small example of things that, you know, you'd want to know as a parent that I definitely think you need to be open-minded about while co-parenting. My fourth suggestion would be to come up with some type of financial plan or budget for the what ifs, or if something happens, what are you gonna do? I know, well, I'm not rich, so I definitely know that at the time I didn't sit down and necessarily do a budget, but those things definitely came up, and if I had sat down and looked at those things, I may have been better prepared for them. So that would be my fourth suggestion. My fifth suggestion would be to definitely look at each other's schedules. I don't know if your significant other or the person that you're co-parenting with is in school, working, they work full time, they work a 9 to 5, whatever the case may be. You guys know you guys' schedules, so it's a little bit easier to do that. I will say that when you're co-parenting, sometimes one parent may get stuck with the child more so often than the other person. It's not always intentionally, but I know in my particular situation, after finding out I was pregnant, I still was in school for a semester, maybe 2 more semesters. And after being in school for 2 more semesters, I decided to withdraw from school. I let my child's father finish school. However, I have not made the decision to go back. So I know the moment that I make a deliberate decision to go back to school, that is going to change my child's father's schedule entirely. So that is definitely something you want to keep in mind going forward. And like I said, co-parenting is not easy, and I won't say it's hard, but you know, it's definitely manageable. But that is why my sixth suggestion is so important, because as much as I could not stand my child's father at the time, I had to and I have to talk to him. So my sixth suggestion would be to definitely communicate. And I'm going to say like 6, but 6A would be to communicate 6, and then 6A, communicate effectively, because it's one thing to communicate something with somebody, and it's a whole nother thing to communicate with them and you guys leave that conversation on the same page. Because I'm going to go ahead and say myself and take responsibility for the fact that I know how to communicate, but I do not always know how to communicate effectively. And I'm living and breathing that situation right now. So that is my suggestions to you, ladies, gentlemen. I know there's single moms out there. I know there's single dads out there. I don't want anyone to think that this video is just catering to mothers. It's catering to parents, period. But I'm only catering more so to moms because I'm a mom myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think I may do a co-parenting like part 2 or something, because I can talk about this for forever. But it's definitely like something you'll have to get used to for sure. And depending on who you're co-parenting with, it can be very manageable. You may have to strategically sit down and write some stuff down and actually talk step by step with some people, because if you have any other outcomes in mind other than your child being in an intact and stable environment, that co-parenting relationship could be hell, and I don't want that for anybody. So I hope you guys continue to watch and stay tuned. Be looking for co-parenting part 2 coming soon. So thank you guys. Stay up.